What's going on, friends? Sam Prentice back once again. We're back for the third annual 2025 Rocky Mountain RepRap Festival here in Loveland, Colorado. Look at the crowd behind me. Friends, are you ready? Let's get straight into this one. What's going on, friends? We are at the Rocky Mountain RepRap Festival 2025. It's the third one, and we're encountering the biggest death race we've ever had with 55 races. So there's really only one thing we've got to say. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
A master at work.
What's going on, friends? Sam Prentice back once again. We're with Rod and Harris from Diamondback. Guys, how you doing? Good to see both of you. Of course, we've seen you at so many shows, but we've had very little time to actually get together and talk about your process and what you guys do at Diamondback. So whereabouts are you guys out of? Utah, right?
So yeah, we're out of Orem, Utah.
Okay, and what's the process? Because this is pure carbon. What's your process on man-made diamonds? I'm guessing this is what this is, right?
Yeah, so let me just grab this little vial here. We started out with this little diamond crystals here. It's actually a little bit finer. Okay. What we actually use, this is more for visual representation. So we put this in a cube, put it in a big press, about 9 feet tall, and 1 million PSI. Wow. So it's the equivalent of getting the Eiffel Tower, you're flipping it upside down and putting the tip of it on the palm of your hand. So that's how much pressure we're pushing these diamonds into.
Gotcha.
So we got a little sintering process that we do inside the press. You know, it heats up, high pressure, and then cobalt sweeps through, gets into these diamond crystals, and starts doing some diamond-to-diamond growth. Right. From that, about 10 minutes later, we get solid diamond disc. So
that's definitely one thing to highlight. It's not diamond, it's not the particles in a matrix or a glue, but the diamonds actually form and fuse together with diamond bonds. And so that's why it's called polycrystalline diamond, because those grow together.
Gotcha. So is it just hot ends that you guys are doing, or are there other applications for your machine and your process?
Yeah, I mean, so
or is that top secret?
Well, we are working, you know, to get outside of the 3D printing realm. Okay. But you know, just small little things here and there. But I mean, anything that you guys want to do, you know, just bring it up, and we'll try to do some custom things for you guys.
Gotcha. Obviously, I've got a few of your hot ends that are on my Bamboo Lab printers, and that's via E3D, of course. And that collaboration is obviously fairly unique. Where do you see this going? And did you anticipate that those kind of relationships were going to form inside of what you started off as a, I guess, how was your startup? I want to know a little bit more about that as well, because I don't know that much about you. I know about the product. Obviously, I saw you at the San Jim RepRap Festival, I think the first one. I'm interested to know a little bit more about how those relationships are formed and ultimately where the end goal is.
Yeah, so initially, where it came out of is in-house, we have a 3D print lab that was supporting the manufacturing floor. You know, right here's kind of a sample of the base product we make. This is actually a cutting tooth for drill bit, for drilling for oil and gas. Gotcha. You know, you want the diamond there for the wear resistance, as well as the toughness that the polycrystalline diamond provides. So to answer the question is we have that 3D print making jigs and fixtures for the floor, and we were burning through nozzles left and right. And well, we're a diamond manufacturing company. Let's put some diamond in a nozzle, give it a go. And the print lab was super impressed with the performance there, and so he's like, hey, maybe we have something here, maybe something that other people would like to use and be beneficial to them. And so we said, well, let's do a Kickstarter, let's test this out a little bit, not to get the capital and money, but is there interest in it?
Yeah. And what's the market like?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we did that, launched the product on Kickstarter. I mean, it wasn't through the roof, but enough interest there. We're like, hey, we got something, let's go with it. And then you asked about the collaborations. Well, just at meets like this, met up with E3D. Obviously, we have common interests, common goals. We said, hey, let's work together. Let's push it forward. Let's not stifle innovation, but let's expand it.
But it seems like a perfect combination of obviously what they do and obviously being based in the UK like I am as well, over in Oxford. So it kind of made sense that that would be an interesting collaboration to have between three parties there. Are you working in any other way with other manufacturers of 3D printers to try and get this process across a better range or a broader range?
Yeah, I mean, the diamond technology that we bring, we definitely want to get in as many applications as we can. There's other companies, you know, MicroSwiss has the flow tech that we work with, Slice Engineering, we made the fin nozzle that goes into their ecosystem.
Yep.
So trying to make
I didn't know that actually. I didn't know that you okay.
Possible.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
exactly. So yeah,
that's really cool. Then you're at every event. And it seems like, you know, I saw you at San Mountain RepRap Festival, East Coast RepRap Festival, Rapid more recently, Form Next, and it's always you guys. How big is the operation?
So behind you, here on the board, so that's a picture of the facility in Utah. So we got 3 buildings there. All the diamond manufacturing occurs there, and as well as the nozzle assembly and that end of the process, the forming of the tips and so forth. Rod and I work a lot on the design and development, so product development. We've got Mark that you've met, does our marketing, and then Scott Schmidt, one of our VPs that kind of oversees the business and helps the growth of it.
Gotcha. So what's the other side of the business? What else diamond-esque that you can talk about? What else? What other kind of products are you kind of bringing out inside of that process?
Within diamond,
yeah.
Yeah, so here's another product that we actually make on site there. This is a PCB bearing, okay? So you got the diamond on diamond surfaces there with a low coefficient of friction. These bearings go in the harshest conditions that exist.
And what sort of application would this be used for then?
So the diamond bearings we'll use for downhole drilling or applications where you don't want to have to go in and maintenance and service the bearing. Think of wastewater treatment plants, things of that nature. You know, these bearings will last for years, where maybe a standard conventional bearing, you get a few months out of it.
Okay, so 3D printing really is kind of like quite a small element of what the overall business is.
Yep. I mean,
but you're here representing at every single event, so I mean, it's fairly unique, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's a small segment of the overall business, but definitely a growing market in an area where we think diamond can definitely benefit.
That's really cool. I really appreciate that. Now, obviously, E3D, we can find your products on E3D. Is there anything direct that we can do through you guys? Is there a website, or are you literally through E3D?
Yeah, so those that we have manufactured in the US, like I said, once we partner with E3D, sell through them, they sell to the European market.
Yep.
We have an Amazon store for the US, as well as different resellers. Matter Hacker has it, a few other resellers within the US.
Gotcha. Of course, links, for all that sort of stuff will be in the description below. Guys, this is incredible. It's blown my mind a little bit. I'd love to learn more about this, and I'm sure we're going to catch up again soon in the future. Really excited to see what you've got coming out next, because I'm sure there's something in the works, right?
Absolutely.
I can see from your faces there's definitely something in the works. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're doing what's called the ice test.
This is the ice test.
The ice test.
Exactly.
Okay.
So what we're doing is we're testing thermal conductivity. What I've got is discs of different materials that nozzles are made of. So you got your yellow brass, hardened steel, a ruby tip, ruby nozzle, tungsten carbide, and a piece of diamond. So the same diamond put in the tip. So what I want you to do is you grab whatever ones you want. I suggest a diamond, and you're going to hold it between your thumb and index finger.
Yeah.
And touch them both on the ice at the same time. And so they'll both get cold, but the speed that you're going to feel that's going to be different.
Oh, yeah.
Almost instant, right?
Yeah. And I've marked it as well.
Yeah. So diamond's 5 times the thermal conductivity of brass.
Oh my God, 5 times the thermal.
Brass is pretty good.
Yeah. That's how did you come up with that? How did you come up with that test?
Well, we knew about the thermal conductivity of diamond, which is one of the reasons that makes it ideal for an FDM nozzle, right?
Which totally now makes sense. I thought you were just showing off.
No.
And yet here we are doing this test. Yeah. I love that. That's amazing. Thank you so much for showing me that. Yeah. That's incredible. So I just want to thank today our channel sponsors, Polymaker, and of course the channel is powered by Polymaker. So thanks to them, and also thank you to PCBway.com. What's going on, friends? First day of the Death Racers at Rocky Mountain 2025. I'm here with Nick, with Team Van Leiden. You have a full force of family here. You've just won third place, which is a $100 worth of Polymaker filament, along with a Big Tree Tech kit, the brand new V2. You're going to be one of the first to get that, which is absolutely amazing. What went into this? You did so well. And I love the fact this is a big family affair here. Who have we got? Tell me who's here.
My oldest daughter, youngest daughter, middle child, wife, mom, other mom, friend of family.
Amazing. And you're the team that came together here. Where are you out of? Where are you from?
We're here from Colorado.
All right, so local.
Yeah, local.
Amazing. What made you build a Death Racer?
Well, we've watched it the last 2 years
Yep.
that we've been here. And I just wanted to build something that was fun.
That's amazing. You know, it's quite humbling for me because we had 55 here this year, and this just started as a silly idea, if you know anything about the background of this, of just messing around, playing around with Joel Telling, you know, so that was the kind of the whole idea behind this concept. And to have 55 here is absolutely amazing.
That is a lot.
I just want to congratulate you and your family, man. That's it's incredible.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible. How long did it take you to build these?
It took me
About a week.
about a week, yeah.
About a week total for
About
both.
a week total, yeah. That's printing and building and watching videos and
Gotcha. Yeah.
One of you, I don't want to just.
So it took about a week to build these. What 3D printers are you using?
I use an Ender
Yep.
3 and a Prusa MK3S.
Amazing. Okay, that's great. Listen, guys, congratulations once again. Are you going to be here tomorrow?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, representing the Death Racers here, congratulations once again, guys.
Thank you.
Well done. What's going on, friends? Rob Mink here from Printcepts. Rob, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
It's Printcepts, right?
Yes.
I just want to make sure I was getting that right. It's the BabyBelt 3D printers. If you don't know Rob already, I see you all the time on Jerry's stream, of course, 3DHP.
Yeah.
You're there every Saturday, 12 p.m. or 12 a.m., depending on what side of the country I guess you're on. It's about 8 p.m. in UK time, but make sure you definitely check that out. Rob, I've known you for a number of years now, and I know that you've had these concepts around these BabyBelt printers. Tell me everything about them.
Alrighty.
No pressure.
Well, the BabyBelt project was originally designed as like an educational super cheap printer, and then we went to the BabyBelt Pros, which these are, and they're a little more expensive, about $300-ish, maybe $350. You can print them in 45-degree mode, 30-degree mode. They can run Clipper or Marlin. You make your own belts with an iron-on fabric and cloth, so you can have fun with them.
That's nice. That's cool. That's cool. So, and this is your design?
Yes.
This is your concept?
Yes.
My God. Where did that come from? How did you... obviously, belt printers were a thing. The CR30 was a thing. I don't know if it was good, bad, or probably very ugly, in fact. And Creality kind of messed that up. But there were some other printers. There was the White Knight. There was a bunch of other kind of printers around that time. And you've been doing this for a number of years.
Yes.
So where are you at with this now? Is this a finished, positive, polished product, or are there still some things we need to work out?
I don't know if you can say any open source project is polished and finished.
Exactly that.
But, it's far enough along that Fabrico has kits, and West 3D with LDO is going to have kits soon.
So it's in production.
It's in production, yes. With
Amazing.
build manuals and a BOM, and you know, it's a fully launched for the BabyBelt Pros. So we have an XL, which is a bigger version of the BabyBelt Pro,
right,
that's coming out soon when I finish iron out a couple more little bugs.
Yep.
Is that the Belt Pro?
No.
Minus the baby?
No.
The bigger BabyBelt?
Just the XL.
Okay.
My wife wanted to call it something medical, and I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. But
Gotcha. I've got a serious question for you. One thing that struck me with doing any of these RepRap festivals and seeing how the 3D printing industry's gone, Bamboo Labs come in, and it's kind of changed the ecosystem. People are buying printers now that they're not really having to do too much to. But here's the funny thing. I'm now seeing a shift back to professional people wanting to make printers again. And I think we're seeing a shift back to this now. So who is buying these printers? Who's your customer?
Anybody that wants to either learn making a printer, or anybody that wants to do Etsy sales, lots of sales, or lots of production for little parts. There isn't one particular market in the 3D printing community. except for maybe not the people that sell the colorful long dragons. They're multicolor.
Of course.
Yeah.
Tell me, what's your longest print?
Longest print on a BabyBelt Pro.
Yeah.
It was the XL. It was one of those articulated dragons in one color, but it was, you know, 3.5 feet long.
Okay.
In one print.
Are there any limitations to how big you could put something on there, onto the plate?
A little bit on the height and width, but lengthwise, no. As long as you support it either by hanging off a French cleat or with output rollers.
Yep.
And then of course the crow too, the crooked crow, which I don't have here, but.
So let's go through this. Where can people find you online?
Printcepts.com.
Yep.
Or the BabyBelt Pro GitHub.
Gotcha. And where can people buy these today, or certainly in the very near future?
Fabrico has them for sale right now.
Yep.
On their website.
Got it.
And then West 3D will have them for sale soon. I don't know what the soon means, but it's in the works.
If somebody else wants to see you this year, where else are you going to be? What other RepRap festivals are you going to be attending, or is it just this today?
No, I'm totally planning on being at East Coast RepRap, 3D Printopia, and I'm probably going to be at the Midwest RepRap.
Amazing. Rob, always a pleasure.
Thank you, Sam.
I'm really glad we got some time to talk about this because it's been on the radar, but I think now is the right time, and thank you so much for talking to me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thanks, you too.
What's going on, friends? Jake from the KitKiln is here. You have got some insane models here. I saw you setting up yesterday and I just had to talk to you.
Sure.
Tell me everything about what you do and what your process is and how you've come to be at Rocky Mountain RepRap Festival this year.
Yeah. So we've been designing these models for about a year. Kind of our thing is all of our stuff prints in separate parts and snaps together. So you don't need to use a multi-material printer to achieve results like this. So it's accessible to everybody. Exactly. Virtually zero waste. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. So how did you get involved with this? How did this come to be?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a nerd. I've been into 3D printing since like 2019. I mean, I love Star Wars, I love Disney, I love, you know, all this stuff. So it kind of started off as just kind of a fun thing for myself, you know.
Yep.
I was obsessed with the content, so I started, you know, designing it and printing the stuff. And then I shared it and people loved it, and it just kind of took off, you know. People like the idea of being able to build things themselves, you know. It's an experience. All of our models are an experience.
So where are your models based? Where do you sort of base out from now?
So all of our models are exclusively on thangs.com.
Yeah.
There's a lot of free ones, but then you can get the rest of them under subscription, and that's where we host all of our files.
So is there a Patreon or anything like that, or is it literally just off Thangs?
Just on Thangs is where you can find our exclusive models. Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool. So what's your process when you get to starting something? How do you do a stormtrooper or a Vader? How does that happen?
Right. So these are our chunkables. These chunkable models, they're a little bit easier because they're kind of built off the same base.
Yep.
So we can kind of run with like the base design and then kind of add layers onto it. But then these kits, it's a puzzle every time. You know, it's an engineering kind of trying to figure out because all of our stuff prints without supports as well.
Yep.
So it's a process of figuring out, okay, how are the colors going to go together? How is it going to print without supports? How is it going to snap together? How is it going to stay solid? You know, like this Mjolnir. You know, this thing was fully printed. Separate parts and all the pieces go together, and it's solid now. You know.
Can I hold that? Let me
yeah,
hold that.
Sure.
That's going to be the thumbnail. I think we're gonna get a picture of that. That's incredible.
For sure.
That's amazing. That is. I mean, obviously, you can see how successful this is. There are a lot of people here. It's going to be one of those booths where people are going to have to stop by. They're going to be in awe of this. How does that make you feel as a designer?
I mean, it just kind of makes me excited to see that people in the community like it. You know, it's fun to see other people get excited about something you're excited about.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's fun to be able to kind of turn it into something more real. But it's just fun to see the smiles on people's faces. You know, there's been kids coming through, and they're just pumped to build this stuff. You know?
There was a guy who just came over just a minute ago, and he was literally on his knees going, like, "Oh, what is this? This is amazing." I mean, it must be such a gratifying feeling of something you've designed. People really appreciate and
very
respect.
grateful. Very grateful.
It's insane. What's next for you?
So we currently have our KitKiln page where we host kind of all these kind of vehicles and props and figures, but we're actually going to be opening up a new store pretty soon.
Right.
That's going to be more focused towards kids.
Yep.
More focused towards simpler kits that are just kind of fun for everybody to build.
That's really cool. Jake, thank you so much for talking to me today.
Appreciate it.
All the links, as always, will be in the description down below. This has just been insane. Thanks for talking to me.
Appreciate it.
Take care. What's going on, friends? If you don't know Andrew from 3D Gloop, this is his face. Now, Andrew, hope you're well, sir. good to see you once again
Likewise.
at the Rocky Mountain RepRap Festival. You do cover most of these RepRap festivals, of course. We saw you at Earth, we've seen you at Murph in previous years as well, where we did our very first interview.
Oh, yes.
When I was very green to the whole YouTube world. But you've grown, not yourself, but the company has certainly grown. What is 3D Gloop? Just for people at home to understand exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's a great question. So 3D Gloop is an adhesive for 3D prints. That's as simple as it is, but more in depth, we make a special adhesive that chemically bonds your 3D prints together on a molecular level. Yep. So, you probably heard as a maker, cyanoacrylate, super glues, epoxies. Those are physical adhesives. They just kind of sit in between the surfaces. We're a chemical. We physically degrade the polymers and recombine them into something new, and then cures in place, and it's never coming apart.
No, absolutely. And I've been using your products for years, of course. So, I'm not green to this at all. But you've just moved into a new warehouse. You've got a whole new setup.
Yeah.
So business is on the up for you, which is really exciting.
Very exciting.
What's the future hold for Gloop right now?
Oh, man. Well, so, a little bit of backstory first. We started Gloop out of my house. Right. 900 square feet. Tiny. And it's over the past nearly 7 years, it's basically grown exponentially. So, back in April, we just acquired a new 8,000 square foot building that we're moving into. We're in the process. Amazing. So right now it's blank slate, but lots of updates, lots of progress that's being made on it every day. Future is, we're hoping to scale. If you go to 3dgloop.com, you're going to notice there's like 5 to 7 day wait times, and we have order queues of 200-300 people long, just waiting to get the product. We can't make it enough or fast enough. And so that's what this is supposed to solve.
So it's going to enable you to do more.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah, massive reaction vessels, new R&D lab for future products. I'm excited. We've got some really cool things in the lab that we've been working on for years now.
Yeah. It's super exciting. We've always wanted to do more with you, of course.
Yeah.
We've talked in depth about that. And more recently, and certainly what's going to sort of coincide with perhaps something we're going to do in the future, which we talked about for years, is this.
Yeah, Jeff.
And it's worrying when you see something that can literally pull you limb from limb at a RepRap Festival, where we're all nerding out here, and but he's a safe beast. He's under control.
Yes,
for the moment.
For the most part.
But what have we got? Tell me a little bit about what we got set up here, because this is different to what I've seen previously.
Sure. So what we're doing here is we're playing tug of war, and the idea is to test how strong the Gloop bonds actually are. So we have a 3D printed shackle. This shackle is specifically actually is multi-material. So we have some PLA, we have PETG, and we have ASA right here. And we're just showing off that with the multiple variations of Gloop, we call them flavors, you can actually bond your different, dissimilar materials together much stronger than you'd be able to mechanically just kind of adhere them. And so, we have a load cell, and we're basically mapping how much force it takes. And Jeff is a massive 5,000-pound industrial robot that's kind of our immovable object and unstoppable force.
This immediately reminded me of Saw, the movie. I'm just like, all right, Mr. Kramer, let's wind this in. And winding it in is exactly what we're going to do, because we're not going to beat the robot, but what we can do here is we can, I guess, test. Exactly what are we testing for?
You're testing for the amount of force that these bonds can take.
Right.
And so, we have 3-4 people basically on this rope, and you guys are supposed to tug as hard as you can. And what that does is it provides the load, so the load is transmitted all through this 3D printed shackle. You might see some safety cables. This is just in case something catastrophic happens. But they really serve no purpose other than just in an shoot environment.
In previous years, of course, we've had the Gloop tug of war, which is world famous.
Yes.
And I saw once it broke.
It did.
But that was after years and years and years.
Well, and what's even funnier about that is it did break, but the bond itself didn't break. It was the prints that exploded.
Amazing.
So I believe that instance, we had 600 or 700 pounds of force going through that shackle. And when it exploded, it was violent. It sent pieces everywhere. And everyone landed on their butts.
I remember. It was quite a moment. So we're going to give this a go. We're going to try and rope in some people. Caleb, you can come in on this. Andrew, just before we finish though, where can we find Gloop? I know there's still a wait list, but it's an excellent product. And again, I use it all the time in lots of different models that I make, including the tiny bikes, the Death Racers, anything and everything that we've kind of come up with in recent years.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate, working with me and helping me out and, moving things forward as a maker.
Absolutely.
So, you've been absolutely fantastic with the support.
Well, thank you.
I do as a maker on the channel. So where can we find you?
Yeah, so I mean, the best place is 3dgloop.com. We do have several resellers here in the United States. So Matter Hackers and Printed Solid are the other two major ones. And hopefully by the end of the year, we'll be on Amazon.
Wow, that's big.
Well, with the new warehouse, that's the goal.
I love that. Well, okay, well, let's get to work then.
I'll count you guys in.
Okay.
Take out the slack. All right, 3, 2, 1, tug. You got 95 kilos. 97. You got 200. Come on. 119.
Oh my God.
Let's go right here.
Oh. Whoa. Oh.
Come on.
Wow, that was insane. Oh, Andrew, thank you so much, dude.
you.
That was amazing. Good work, thank you. Here we are with Zombie Hedgehog, Polymaker, first partner, an awesome human being. We know you from Twitch. Do you do YouTube now?
Yeah, I've been taking videos from YouTube or from Twitch and then putting them on YouTube, but I'm working on making some dedicated content as well on 3D printing, help, tips and tricks, stuff like that.
I love that. Well, you have one of the most amazing booths here.
Oh, thank
and
you.
I've got to tell you, your filament is absolutely killing it. I know a lot of time and effort went into this, and you've definitely made some right choices here. Let's start with Polymaker filament. Where can we buy it?
You can buy this spool on Polymaker's website, of course, under the Creator Spool section, or on Amazon. If you search Hedgehog Makes, it's right there.
Right, lots of things to look at here. We've got bowls, we've got hedgehogs, we've got Deadpool, and this really caught my eye looking on social media on X recently. Where's this come from? How did this come to be?
So this is a 3D sets model. It's the Rocky Tanker, and it's one of their various fully RC capable, buildable, printable kits. Honestly, this has been a blast to build with a ton of printing, but totally worth it because the reaction I've gotten was very positive. Everyone loves it, and it's fun to drive.
It's amazing. How long did it take you to print?
Off and on for about 2 months. It's about 100 plates on a bamboo printer. Shorter prints, but they add up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say a few weeks.
It should be probably a few weeks, but slow building.
Slow and steady wins the race. So it's fully RC controlled. What's the costing something like this? What do you got into it?
A couple spools of filament. I'm not sure how many, but probably about like 3 or 4, plus some basic electronics. Probably around $150 or so.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What else do we have here? I see some speakers. I see a blaster of some sort.
Yeah. So this is one of the blasters from. It's a Halo blaster.
It's from Halo.
Yeah, I forgot the name of it, but that's a very cool model. I have deposition sound speakers that I printed and they fully work. I've been playing them all day. A violin that is from Maker World. Someone designed that and it's just been fantastic. Plays fully in tune. Lots of cool stuff here.
I spotted over there just the Death Racer as well. How did that go today?
I won the practice round. I used my skill and agility to get the victory. But unfortunately, some of the later races were a bit lacking, and
you got to roll the dice with these things. Unfortunately, it's the way it goes, isn't it? But tomorrow's another day, and we may rise again inside of the Death Races. Now we had 55 Death Races there.
That was insane.
It was it kind of blew my mind. And I was kind of like, you know, when you're standing there, and I'm sort of taking it all in, thinking, well, how did this all come to be? And of course, we know how it came to be, but it's still insane nonetheless. So, Mr. Zombie, where can we find you? If someone wanted to see what you're doing, where are we going to find you at?
The best place is my website, hedgehogmakes.com. I have all the links on there. I'm on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Polymaker's website, you know, selling filament, all the places. I'm there.
So, obviously, links will be in the description. I think it goes without saying, what's been the biggest pull at your booth this weekend so far?
Ooh. Everything. They come in, they see all the red. Like, there must be something going on here because there's so much red things.
Red means danger, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this shirt is pretty dangerous. I like it.
Yeah,
I saw it at breakfast this morning. That is, maybe we get a close up if you're doing a twirl. That'd be nice.
Okay. Whoa.
Love that.
Yeah, no, everyone loves the truck. I've been driving it around too. I put some spools on it. The spools fit just like this. So,
wow.
Filament delivery service. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's blown my mind. I don't know if I'm going to be able to have the dedication to be able to make something like this, but I'm glad that you have. And, you know, it's really good to see you, as always. Polymaker first partner, Zombie Hedgehog. Thank you very much.
You are watching a master at work.